What's up, y'all? Breeders' Cup Classic coming up here on Saturday. Now, this race has just about everything we were expecting, except that Mandaloon will not be running. He's got an ankle problem, so I think they're going to try to bring him back in the next few weeks to a month. So he's definitely going to be missing this one. But we do have Essential Quality back. We've got Hot Rod Charlie back. We've got Art Collector coming back in there. 4-year-old getting back into the mix here. We've got Knicks Go in this one. Tripoli's running. And of course the controversial Medina Spirit with Bob Baffert and Johnny Velasquez back to try to prove that this horse can beat these other horses since that controversial Kentucky Derby win, which was still very, very close. At any rate, so we do have the top or three of the top four from the Derby back in there. Plus, we got the top older horse in Knicks Go. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We've got Tripoli at number 1. Now, this horse, you don't really see too much on his resume. Couple of allowance, optional claimers win, and he runs second place in the San Diego Handicap. And he gets the win in the Pacific Classic. I wasn't too impressed by that win, but he did come across first. They've upgraded the jockey now, though. After that, his last race out, he was 4th in the Awesome Again. So, running that Awesome Again, you're going to face, facing Medina Spirit. They're going to upgrade the horse now, so he's going to have Irad Ortiz Jr. Morning odds at 15-1. That looks good. I mean, anytime you see Irad Ortiz Jr. 15-1, you might want to figure out how to make a play on that one. Tough competition in this one. Don't know if the horse is really up for it, but this is a Breeders' Cup Classic. It's very evenly matched, and you've got a lot of experience with these jockeys in here. Irad Ortiz Jr. has won this before. The trainer, John Sadler's won it before. I mean, you've got a lot. Like I said, Victor Espinosa's riding here. He's won before. Baffert's won 4 times. At any rate, I don't know if this horse really has the speed to contend, but based on the fact that this is probably going to be a pretty fast pace, in my opinion, the speed may get out of control. Irad Ortiz Jr. does a very good job of keeping his horses competitive, so you might want to keep that one in mind. Tripoli there at 15-1. Number 2 Express Train, 20-1 morning odds on that one. They put Victor Espinosa on this one. Now, this horse was 3rd in the Awesome Again, 6th in the Pacific Classic. He won the San Diego Handicap, but, not having done much since then, putting Victor Espinosa on him, I don't think is gonna make too much difference. I have a saying about Victor Espinosa. He only wins when he has the best horse in the race, and Express Train is not the best horse in this race. So I don't like this one. Horse is out of Union Rags. Got Mine Shaft on the other side. So breeding wise, he's got something in there. John Sheriff's training him. He's won the race before too. So I think Express Train is the one. Number 3, Hot Rod Charlie. One of the best, if not the best horse running right now. It's to be determined coming up here. This horse, I should just go ahead and do both these horses at 3 and the 4 at the same time, because I didn't go back over the history, but I don't ever remember horses that ran 1-2 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile coming back to face each other again in the Breeders' Cup Classic. A lot of times these horses don't make it that far, but we've got Hot Rod Charlie who ran 2nd by a neck to Essential Quality in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year. Then they ran in the Kentucky Derby against each other. Hot Rod Charlie got the better of him there, but did not get the win, ran 3rd, whereas Essential Quality ran 4th. And then now they're going to be facing each other again in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So, congrats to these horses and these trainers for able to, and the staff for able to get these horses, keep these horses healthy, to be able to run in all those big races. Like I said, I don't remember that happening too often before, if at all. But at any rate, these horses have, like I said, they faced each other way back when in that Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year. Essential Quality got the win. Hot Rod Charlie was 2nd. He went on, though, to have a pretty decent running at this one. It was 3rd in the RB Lewis. That was kind of a crazy race. But then they switched him over to Rosario, ran him in the Louisiana Derby. He got the win there. That was one of his most impressive wins before he came out and ran a third in the Kentucky Derby. Second place in the Belmont, which I mean, I really wish they had let him go. He was running Secretariat-type fractions to start that one off. Pratt kind of pulled him up, wasn't able to finish strong. He lost to Essential Quality there. So beaten again by Essential Quality at that 1.5 distance. Then he comes out in the Haskell. Strong race in the Haskell. He's disqualified after clipping heels with Midnight Bourbon, made him stumble over. Runs a nose ahead of Mandaloun, but they give Mandaloun the win in a very exciting race. Then he comes back in the Pennsylvania Derby against Midnight Bourbon. Clips his heels, or didn't clip his heels. They tried to say he cut him off. They didn't pull him down, but there was an inquiry with the jockey on Midnight Bourbon. I didn't think he should have been pulled down. He wasn't pulled down. Some people think he should have been pulled down. He got that win there regardless. He's had some good races with some good times. He has, in the last couple of races, shown to be a bit rambunctious, I guess you would say, in the stretch. So they're putting blinkers on. I don't know if I like that. To me, when your horse is running well, you don't change anything. So maybe the blinkers on will help keep him under control. Maybe they're worried about a disqualification in the stretch or something like that. But blinkers are on. I don't necessarily like that, but I do think the horse is very strong. An Oxbow horse, which Oxbow was not very impressive to me, but his father was awesome again, who was also a Breeders' Cup Classic winner and probably the best Breeders' Cup Classic since, this is probably the best Breeders' Cup Classic since that one. I think it was 98. At any rate, Hot Rod Charlie, going to be running up near the pace most likely. One of the strongest horses in this field, in my opinion. And we're going to have to see how this pace shakes out because there's a lot of front runners in this one. One horse that will not be running up front, however, is Essential Quality. I think he's going to be bringing up the rear in this pack, all the way in the back. Louis Saez is bringing him out again. This Tappet horse, grandfather was Elusive Quality. Strong breeding in this one. 2-year-old champion, Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, Breeders' Cup Futurity winner. Before that, he went on to win the Southwest Stakes, the Bluegrass Stakes, 4th in the Kentucky Derby. Then he got a win in the Belmont Stakes, the Jim Dandy, and the Travers. Essential Quality keeps winning. However, his times have not been very impressive lately, and the toughest race he raced in was the Kentucky Derby, where he ran 4th. So he is running against similar competition in this one. Gonna have his work cut out for him for sure. I do like his workout time. He's got the most impressive workout coming out recently on Halloween. So looks like he's in shape, ready to go. Like I said, gonna have his work cut out for him because there's a lot of speed, upfront speed in this race. And I think he's going to be bringing up the rear. But what can you say? He may go off as being the favorite. I don't know. They got him as second favorite right here at 3-1. Hot Rod Charlie's 4-1. The 5-year Knicks Go is 5-2. I mean, we really don't know how this is going to shake out because these horses are so evenly matched. The number 5, as I was saying, Knicks Go, the horse out of Painter, another awesome again horse. Now, this horse had kind of a weird career. Started off young, probably ran in too many top races against too much competition. So they kind of had to bring him back. Didn't win any. He ran the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, as a matter of fact. Was second in that race, but didn't win any races at 3-year-old. So they bring him out as a 4-year-old. He wins 3 races, 3-0. Then he got into a couple of tight ones there. After getting the Pegasus World Cup victory, he was 3rd in that Saudi Cup, or sorry, 4th in the Saudi Cup, 4th in the Met Mile. But then they've got him in a couple of races. He was much better. The Cornhusker walked away with that one. Got him in the Whitney with an impressive win, and in the Lucas Classic, he just looked very dominant. So they got this horse at 5 years old, running very well. best he's run in his whole career. Has never gone 1.25 miles. Breeding doesn't necessarily say 1.25 miles, but he's got that Austin McGinn in there. So hey, he's gonna be he might not be the favorite. I don't know. They got him at the 5-2 morning favorite. He might not go off as a favorite, honestly. I could see Essential Quality or Hot Rod Charlie definitely taking that spot. But Knicks Go, you definitely got to make him a contender because, I mean, you got Joel Rosario. He's coming off 3 very impressive wins. That distance is the only thing. He's going up against, even though the 3-year-olds, Essential Quality's already run 1.5 miles. Hot Rod Charlie's done the 1.5 miles. They've done the 1.25 miles, twice now for Essential Quality. Hot Rod Charlie's done the 1.25 miles. So hey, even Art Collector, Medina Spirit. So not having gone 1.25 miles is definitely a downside to Knicks Go. Can he handle it? Will he conk out once he starts to get that 1.125 point? I don't know. He can do a strong 1.125. So can he get that extra furlong? We'll have to see. Now, number 6, Art Collector. One of my favorite horses from last year. Did not like his jockey, BJ Hernandez. I think he could do a lot better a lot of times. But this horse is very well bred. Bernardini, which is an AP Indy horse, another Breeders' Cup Classic winner. Distorted Humor on his mother's side. So very well bred. I'm not surprised that this horse is still hanging around because Hernandez was riding him, never got any really big wins, so they didn't retire him. So he's still around. They got Mike Smith on him now. Even though Luis Saez was riding him the past 3 races, he's not getting off Essential Quality to ride Art Collector, sorry. So they bring in Mike Smith, well-accomplished jockey, but I don't know. I think Mike Smith is just kind of out of it. I don't know. Sometimes guys get to the top of their game, they make a bunch of money, and they're just not into it as much anymore. But he's still around, so he's riding this horse now instead. Bill Mott's training the horse now. They switched trainers on him too. He's getting wins now. 3 straight, nothing really that big. He got to win the Woodward. That was the best one he's put up. Charlestown Classic and the Alydar, yeah, they counted, but the win in the Woodward is probably the most impressive. So he's facing the big boys once again. He's facing 3-year-olds and he's facing Knicks Go. Not having to face any of the horses that he had to contend with last year as a 3-year-old, but definitely want to consider Art Collector. It's hard to play him. I know a lot of people are not going to like this horse to win. A lot of people are going to like this horse probably to hit the board. That's why the horse racing can be tough. Horses like this, especially if you're trying to play those exotics, hitting an exacta try, it's kind of hard to leave Art Collector out. But once again, there's other good horses in here. Probably going to be running near the front. At least that was his strategy before. He seems to do best up front. Don't know if he can hang with the speed that's going to be in the front in this one. He's got Mike Smith. He's not necessarily your up front kind of guy. So we'll just have to see how it shakes out. I think Bill Mott's probably going to tell him to just, hey, get out there and try to win on Art Collector. Just do what you feel. I don't think you're going to come up with too much strategy because it's going to be tough. Number 7, we got Stiletto Boy. May or may not belong in this race. His last win was the Iowa Derby, if it counts for anything. They moved him to the La Hala on turf for some reason. Came up 5th there. Ran a decent race, but came up 5th. 3rd in the Shared Belief, and then 2nd in the Awesome again. So, yeah, he's been in there getting beat by Medina Spirit a couple times. Kent DeSormo, they dug him up, dusted him off. And he's back out there riding again. You might want to play the DeSormo angle. They got on the morning odds at 30-1. 8-1 on that Art Collector, by the way. 30-1 on Stiletto Boy. So big odds for Kent DeSormo. Like I say, well-accomplished jockey. You may want to play him in there just for the fact that it's Kent DeSormo and some exotics, or if you enjoy playing place and show. Don't know if he can really win this one. Horse is out of Shackleford. It's a forestry horse. It's not really the distance in there. More of that miler type, 1.125 type breeding. Don't really like this horse, I gotta say. did have a decent race in that Iowa Derby. If he can recapture that form, I guess he could be competitive, especially if the pace gets to be too fast. He's one of the ones I have a bit off the pace. But to me, you're really betting on Kent DeSormo with this one. Number 8 is the infamous, the notorious Bob Baffert, Johnny Velasquez, and Medina Spirit. Kentucky Derby winner, still officially the Kentucky Derby winner, has not been disqualified, probably will not be disqualified because of a lot of back and forth and shenanigans with test samples and blah, blah, blah. And, hey, this is proof why a lot of this stuff doesn't belong in sports to begin with. I don't want to turn this into a Medina Spirit video. At any rate, he's kind of been playing the Mayweather card, to me. After the loss in the Preakness, he runs third in the Preakness. There's still all this controversy over the Derby. They don't want to let him run in Kentucky. They don't want to let him run in New York. So he pretty much is like, I'm going to go back home to California and be king of California again, which he was even already king of California, but even more so now because he's not running in all these other places. So I'm sure Oaklawn's going to keep him there. Let him come back. Well, I don't know. Maybe Oaklawn won't let him come back because of suspension and stuff too. At any rate, he's still running in California. These races are being run in California. So Baffert's on home turf here, home dirt, we should say, with Medina Spirit, Friendly Racing Commission. So I'm not expecting any trouble with any kind of doping or drugs or cream or clear or any of that type stuff. However, Medina Spirit is facing all these top horses here, going to be at home. I'm not sure that the horse is the same horse. Now, am I saying that that the horse was cheating during the Kentucky Derby? I don't know. I do not know. I wasn't there. I didn't get any blood samples myself. I didn't ride the horse before, during, and after. I can't make an honest decision based on what I saw. The horse, after seeing the Santa Anita Derby, got blasted by Rock Your World. The horse just seemed subpar. Then came out with a great race in the Kentucky Derby. Hey, they gave him the lead. Didn't face any trouble in that race. Johnny Velasquez rode a great race. Horse barely won it. Hey, maybe it was just a great race run by Johnny Velasquez because he came out in the Preakness, ran third there. Then he, like I said, he Mayweathers and ducks and dodges and comes out in the Shared Belief. Gets a 1-length victory in that one. And then he wins the Awesome again by 5, but he looked very sluggish in both those races, in my opinion. Decent times to open up, 46 seconds in that Shared Belief. Finishes the mile in 137, and then the mile and an eighth in the Awesome again in 149. That's just not championship material. I mean, maybe they just weren't worried about these other horses, so they really just walked them home. But 149 ain't going to get it. This 137 in mile ain't going to get it in this race. You're going to run last if you want to run 37 mile in this race. This pace is going to be hot. And if this horse is going to be running up front, he's going to have to do that mile a whole lot faster than 137. And he's going to have to do that mile and an eighth faster than 149. I'm thinking the mile and the eighth in this race may come across at 146. That's the kind of speed we have in this one. And in these speed duels, somebody's going to win them. Somebody's going to win it. Or all the top horses are going to get tired. And then you're going to have a horse like Essential Quality will have to close with tremendous speed. So this is going to be a fast race. Medina Spirit's not going to be able to lug along, and neither will Essential Quality. Essential Quality's been lugging along in these victories he's got too. Not going to happen. Not going to cut it on Saturday. Now the number 9, we got Max Player. Ricardo Santana Jr. teaming up with Stephen Asmussen again. Horse had a decent win, I guess you would call it, in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Not much competition, though. He got a win in that. Before that, in the Suburban, and 6th in the Pimlico Special. Not much. I mean, a lot of people like Max Player as an older horse. I think he would win. He's in there. He's decent. But to me, he's just not a top contender the way Knicks Go was. I still, Mystic God was another one who's not running due to injury. So Max Player's in there. I guess you might say he's a little bit better than Express Train and Stiletto Boy. But I don't know. There's Max Player fans out there. I just don't think he's really cut out to be able to get the win here. You may want to throw him and do an exotic, but I don't think so. Not for me. Hasn't done enough to impress me, even though his times were okay. At any rate, pace in this one, because as we know, the pace makes the race. I think, as I said, it's going to be fast. I'm looking at a 46-second opening half. We have, I guess you could call it 4 front runners: Knicks Go, Hot Rod Charlie, Art Collector, Medina Spirit. These horses have enjoyed running up front as of late and have always enjoyed running near the front, if not on the lead. Only one horse is really going to have the lead. They don't really share leads these days. So only one horse is really going to get the lead. I'm expecting that one to be Knicks Go. I think he's the older horse and just seems to be more fluid. And I don't think, Flavian Pratt's not going for it. He could have gone for that record in the Belmont. He didn't do it. Don't expect him to try to do that here. Johnny Velasquez, he's got Baffert there. If Baffert says push him to the lead, I think he's going to push him to the lead. But I think he will be afraid of Knicks Go. Baffert does not like having Medina Spirit come out of this 8-hole. So I think he will give up the lead to Knicks Go. Stiletto Boy, I think, will hang in there. DeSormo will be competitive and not go for the lead. Same thing with Art Collector. I don't think that Mike Smith is really going to go for the lead. He's much going to try to keep his horse competitive. Couple lengths back, I got Tripoli and Max Player, and we've got Express Train. And like I said, sitting all the way in the back, which I don't think he's going to be too far back, but 3 lengths off in a race like this is going to be a lot. And we got Essential Quality there bringing up the rear. Fast pace, as I said, but I think we're going to get to coming around that final turn. I expect Knicks Go to kind of kick forward. Everybody else is going to make their move. The only one I expect to really come out of that strong as far as these ones running up front, Art Collector, Stiletto Boy, Medina Spirit, Hot Rod Charlie. I think Hot Rod Charlie is really going to come after Knicks Go at that point. It's going to look like a 2-horse race. And then we will see not Medina Spirit. I think Medina Spirit's going to hang in there and fade back. Essential Quality will be coming all the way off the lead, trying to chase down Knicks Go and Hot Rod Charlie. Don't think he's going to be able to get there. I think Knicks Go will just have a little bit too much of a lead. Hot Rod Charlie with the blinkers on, I don't know. Don't think it's going to matter too much. I think it's just going to take a little bit off the horse, and I don't know. Nobody really wants to run around with blinders on their eyes. So I'm going to go with Knicks Go for the win. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Nate, you picked the favorite. I don't care what the odds are. I'm picking the horse that I think is going to win. I don't really think he's necessarily going to be the favorite. Once you get the Hollywood money in there, it's very likely that Hot Rod Charlie could be the favorite or Essential Quality could be the favorite. So I'm going with Knicks Go for the win just because I think he's in the best shape. Got very accomplished jockey as well as a few of these other guys. But I think he's going to be in the best position to win this one. Hot Rod Charlie in there second. I think Essential Quality closes hard but will have been too far off the pace and will run third. And then in fourth place, I've got Tripoli. Irad Ortiz Jr. I think will make a move, have his horse in there. Probably look like he's going to get third, but I think Essential Quality will get in there, move past him. And so I've got Tripoli running fourth. So I went way too long on this video, 24 minutes I'm at now. But hey, it's Breeders' Cup Classic. Lot to talk about with this one. Lots of superstar horses in here. But that's how I see it. 5, 3, 4, 1. Knicks Go for the win.